We good to roll? I can roll.
Yeah. Does everyone know?
What happened last time?
Yeah. Did we do a recap?
I didn't know.
No idea. Can't remember.
I know that
Didn't we,
aren't we camping on our way back to Kamal?
Yes. Yeah. You. I think after you've camped, you've got another day's ride.
Yeah, I believe so.
There. Yeah. One second. All right. Yeah. I just had to burp.
Push to talk for the win.
So I guess to kick
hell
off,
yeah.
the Robert would have spent some time with the horse. You're probably like a little, not far away from the group, but like away from the group a little bit. And would have been like just kind of reassuring or trying to re-establish a relationship with his horse. So like, okay, it seems like we got off on the wrong hoof. Perhaps me and you, we can see to come to an arrangement. You take me where I need to go, and I feed you what you want to be fed. We can become friends, or we can just do the job that needs to be done. Agreed? And he'll kind of just carry on stroking the horse while he's saying this.
Do you want to try and make another animal handling check?
Yes.
It's gonna go your way at some point.
Well, I don't know about that. Oh, natural. Nat 20.
Yes. Finally, the horse turns, looks you dead in the eye, and like there's an understanding there. It understands. You look it in the eye, almost like you give each other like a little nod, and it knows. You know.
Okay. Good to know.
Anyone else want to do anything like that morning? Like we'll say that you slept, you had your evening's rest, everyone's done their watches, and you're just getting up, ready to go straight back to Kymel.
Seems fine for me.
Okay. You've got your I'm still just trying to find my notes real quick. What's the guy's name? Shit.
Who, Marden?
Marden, that's the one. That's the name I was looking for. Yeah, he's still there, and Like he's got up and he's done his hair a little bit, sort of brushed it back, made himself look a little bit more presentable. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm just looking through a bunch of shit. Yeah. Anyway, so everyone's good to go for the rest of their day.
I believe so.
Yep.
Let me do that. Where's my rations? Knock my rations down. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm good. Pretty good.
Okay. All right. I'm done. I'm here. I'm more present now. So everybody sets up on their horses. Marden is gonna go wherever, um, whoever's willing to ride with him or take him with them.
I don't mind taking him with me.
Yeah, I think he probably feels safest with either you or Valerie anyway. After
The
the
whole let's mutilate him to save his life thing.
yeah, pretty
I
much.
didn't touch him.
I mean, you didn't help. And you set off for the rest of the journey towards Kymel. Like I said, you've done this now a couple of times fairly recently, so I'll say that you know your way a little bit better, so you can cut the time down a little bit, so you can arrive at Kymel a little bit earlier. So you don't arrive like right in the evening like you would have. You would arrive a little bit earlier.
Weren't we like not in a hurry?
If you guys aren't in any hurry, then
Well, I know that we were planning
Don't.
on going to a safe house.
yes, yes, you were. Which it's inside Kymel city walls.
Yes, one of the taverns. I'm quite popular.
And then do we report immediately to the Lord or do we not?
Hey, that's all on you guys, man.
Depends how you want to play it.
Well, we were to make them believe that Mordun is dead and this was a dead end. And if I remember correctly, but I don't remember the safe house thing.
Yeah, the third wildebeest. It was kind of like not seedy tavern, but definitely low level, like affordable. Nobody's gonna ask any questions. Um,
Real nice
Robert's been
people.
there before. Yeah, yeah. Robert kind of knows all about it.
All right. Then I guess there is still the question of what we do after Margin is in safety. Do we keep investigating on who's going to murder, who wanted to murder the Lord,
I would
and
say
how do we do that?
we need to play along with their little game. Perhaps we make out that we, of course, have found pieces of mutton to prove its death, and perhaps see if we notice any change in behavior, and maybe make out to certain individuals a little maybe disliking the Lord, but not harmful, but maybe a little bit of comment, delicate comment that maybe might spur some interest by our suspect of murder.
Yeah, you do. You in your handouts there is a list of like everyone that's on the council and their roles within that.
Or we could go to one by one and question them individually, and perhaps in a way that may let us into the little circle and get more information. Personally, I have a feeling that it is all of them is probably conspiring to get rid of the Lord.
I am not sure all of them, but several is certain.
So is that it? You're making your journey there yet? Right now, right?
Yeah, but I still think it's better to plan on the road and
I would say
arrive
that this
late.
is going on while we were traveling. It probably
Yeah,
would
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
take
Yeah.
time.
But basically, what I want to say is that whenever we hit the town, because we've been planning on the road, maybe we've been traveling at a slower pace, and we won't arrive early. We won't cut the, the journey, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, more of a casual pace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
also gives us more we've been looking for the dude and found only his body. Might just say might just give us some kind of credibility in the we really looked department.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just wondering at this point, given how many days Robert has been adventuring quotations, would he perhaps have had any like relapse in his memory? Would he have remembered anything from his past? He would have received any kind of flashes, giving him a bit more sort of insight to his past, or
Not
not that he's
just
looking
yet.
for it? It's just whether or not he would have had some sort of episode that anything might have flashed to spur his memory.
No, not just yet.
Okay,
But yeah,
good to know.
not yet. Not yet. Yeah. Yeah, it's just what you guys think is the best plan. Like,
Well, I don't
yeah.
mind turning up to the party
Honestly,
late, so I can hang back. We don't want to all arrive together. It may be a bit suspicious with our new arrival.
yeah, sure, we can leave. Well, I suppose you know your way inside the city, Martin.
Yeah, I know it pretty well. I've lived there a long time, but uh, yeah, sure, I could show you around. Um,
What I meant is that you would go separately,
oh,
ahead or late, at what you think is the best for you.
well, I'm mm, may need somebody to speak for me, given the fact that
Yeah,
I'm in
sure.
disguise.
Yeah, sure. I think, however, that it might be difficult for us to arrive. Let's say our group of to arrive separately. Um, what do you think?
If you, you go ahead.
You can't expect a beautiful lady to walk into the city by herself, I mean.
Well, why? I do it by myself, don't I?
You seem a lot more confident than our guest, and sometimes less confident women attract the wrong kind of attention. If
This is
alone.
true.
I don't mind taking the guest and perhaps leaving Marden in this safe place and coming back and we regroup together. Well, of course, it is up to you.
I see. I see no big cons to this plan that I haven't voiced out loud already. So I take it to what? What are your idea, Valerie?
I don't know if she's in. I think she popped in and popped out.
Hmm?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, I was like muted. I didn't even realize.
that's okay.
Yeah. Um, I don't. I don't really have any ideas. I think Robert's is the best we have.
Marlon's fairly relieved at the idea of not going in alone. But he's still pretty like skeptical on the whole plan about going back to Kaimal altogether. But despite the fact that you maimed him, he's you're the only option that he has. So he's just following whatever it is that you
We
guys deem is the best plan.
We only maimed him a little.
Maime's maim. But yeah, he's not super stoked about the idea of going back, especially like he doesn't have any of his spell books or his component pouch or anything like that. So he is essentially like for the first time. He's fairly old, so the first time in a long, long time that he's completely exposed.
Didn't we find? No, wait. He had taken everything with him. With him,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't have even any spare spell book. It's just like cantrips.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, those guys took everything from him. Everything he had, they locked him up. They took it all and just ran.
We might be able to track him down and get his stuff back.
Possibly, but we'd need to clear his name before we go off on adventures for his personal effort.
Yeah, he said he overheard him talking about going to Amon. So that's like that would take you through Kaimal and then back out the other side. Like if you were to track him down. So it's just all on you guys, really. Whatever your plan of attack is.
I still
I
believe
don't think
all
we've
of
got
it is
opera.
priority. Go ahead.
It was out of character. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what's the plan? What's the plan going into the city? You all going in together, and then Robert takes Marden to the third wildebeest alone, or are you splitting up and then going back into the city separately?
I think the first one is the least evil. The lesser evil. Sorry.
Okay, so you're all gonna head in together.
Um, yeah, if the group still agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, yeah. So we'll say that there's been a lot of discussion over the course of the day, traveling over what might be the best plan. And as you approach the city gates, you just kind of have to go with the.
You got an up, Sam.
Hello? Still there, Sam? Anybody?
It's a total shit.
Oh, my headset fucked up real quick. I'm back now. Yeah, but you approach the city gates and you enter in. All together, you're not questioned by the guards, but they look at you all entering, like they nod the first couple through, and then Vix, as you enter, like with Marden on the back of your horse, they look not just almost. It's hard to explain the expression. Slightly confused, but more intrigued over the fact that you all rode out for a day and then came back with whatever. Uh, he looks. I think you all rolled like nat 20s, so they kind of give Marden a little wink as you ride back in, like somebody new in town. But you'll go back on in through the city gates and through the city. You leave your horses back at the kind of coach station, and you dismount in the city.
I say to Cassandra, it's okay. Not leaving for long. And I rub her nose and nuzzle her nose with mine, and I look. Uh, Again, you see emotion on my face.
Marden also kind of like watches you do this and then pats the horse as well and says, "A good steed, Cassandra," and just strokes like the mane, just
Yes.
kind of trying to. You said thanks, so he's saying thanks, kind of thing. But yeah, you're inside the city. It's late now. Like the sun is down and there's just kind of torchlights lighting the city. It's still pretty busy. Like it's always quite busy, especially at night in Kymore because it's used for you know like entertainment and stuff like that. So it's still pretty busy. So what's the plan? You guys splitting up? You going anywhere?
Okay, well,
Uh,
I think
didn't we agree on
important
that?
thing is to get our guest to a comfortable surrounding so we can go and do what needs to be done.
Did we agree on a name for her?
Did we not think of a name for her?
Don't think we did.
No, you're still just calling her Marden. She's probably not the best name.
How
I
about
suggest we
something
call her
nice, like
Amarden. Amarden.
that still sounds like a modern.
Mardanella?
Amarden, definitely not Marden.
What about
It makes me
Marion?
think of the
Marion would be closest.
Madeleine, maybe.
Marden's he just looks at the rest of you and says, "I'm very new to this. Whatever you think suits my look the best."
Sarah.
I once knew a lady named Mercedes. Looked a little similar.
Well, okay, Mercedes it is. So he Mercedes puts her arm out for like to Robert to kind of link it.
Of course, you will
So you
take
go,
it.
yeah, you go arm in arm, walking through the streets of Kymore with your new squeeze, and you guys did an absolutely incredible job on like on the makeup and the clothes and stuff, and like people are walking past and they're looking, but they're only looking because this strangely attractive bearded woman is with this dwarf. Like they're more disgusted by you than they are of the fact
Son
that
of a bitch! Did we not shave her?
no,
Well,
no,
you
you didn't.
Contra the Verse is is looking pretty good, right?
Yeah,
Thank gosh for the disguise kit.
yeah, pretty much. Like it's
And
so good
also,
that people don't even blink at the beard. Doesn't
also,
even they don't even
also,
think about it.
also maybe it's the new trend from Craghammer. Now all races got to have some facial hair on them because it looks good.
Exactly. Yeah, they're more like why is she with that dwarven man? Uh,
And
but
very
you
They're very
charismatic.
nice, really.
uh yeah, you take it through the streets of Cornwall, and it's it's the complete opposite direction that like the Maiden's Wish and the Lord's like Manor and stuff is. It's the complete opposite direction of that. You go through the street that has like a few it has like few small good shops and blacksmiths, and there's just a small alley, and in that alley is the entrance to the third wildebeest. The sign on top of the door has two like wildebeest heads uh on a sign that swings above it. uh are all of you going in?
I burst through the door and say, "Do not panic. I am back. Let's celebrate."
There's
Oh,
there's a guy behind the bars. He's kind of short, gnomish guy, and he's cleaning the glass. He looks up and he says, "Hey, Robert." I don't know why he talks like Watto from Star Wars, but uh, he does. Hey, Annie. And then he's cleaning the glasses, and he says, "Come in, my friend, come in."
How is business?
You know how it is in here. We get all the best, we get all the worst, and everything in between. What can I get for you? Who's your new friend? Quite a
This
looker, ain't she?
careful, she bites.
Oh, I don't doubt.
This is Mercedes. We need a place to stay low and safe, somewhere dry.
I can. We've got a room upstairs you can take. Uh, yeah, just cop a piece for the night for the beautiful lady. Get a little discount for you.
Okay, seems like good deal. What is the soup of the day?
Wildebeest,
Obviously.
obviously. Is that all? Is that all you need? Just the one room for the day?
We'll take the two, but we'll more likely only need the one.
Okay, so we'll go one copper room, South Fair.
Yes, for now that is fine, I think.
Okay, so that's. Did you get two rooms or one room?
2 rooms.
Okay, two copper sounds good. You're not sharing a room with the lady?
For now, she needs her own space. You know how ladies get.
Of course, of course. But he looks at Mercedes and said, "If you need any company," and Martin's just like, "It's fine." He does look confused for a second, and then he's like, playing hard to get. So yeah, Martin just says, turns to you, Robert, and says, "I think I'm gonna lay low for a while in the room.
So you
I
stay
think
in the room.
I might be attracting a little too much unwanted attention down here."
Good thing you had escort with you.
Good thinking. Yeah, the disguise is almost so good that it's backfired, and now it's attracting more attention for being beautiful than anything else. So yeah, what's everyone else doing?
Do we go
I've
straight
entered
ahead or
the-
do we?
Sorry, who wants to go first?
My question was, do we go straight ahead or do we have errands before?
That's up to you. I don't think you had any. That I can
I'm
think of.
asking more the group because
Yeah.
right now I'd rather present a front line and to the council when we report.
Well, it's quite late at night that we've just arrived, yeah?
Yeah, it's
So I
pretty
got-
late.
Right, that being the case, I'm going to sit at the bar and have a pint because we've been on the horse all day and I'd like to sit on something that doesn't move.
Okay, yeah. So you guys can. I mean, going in, probably the if you were splitting, so Robert would be going into the kind of poorer, not necessarily poorer, but less well-to-do district, and your only other option is to head probably to the Maiden's Wish if you were staying a decent distance from where Robert was going. The Maiden's Wish is more expensive, but it's nice. It's a casino and bar and hotel and
So
Didn't we have
could
lodgings at Lord's Manor?
uh could we
yeah, you do, yeah.
could we make a connection between the casino and assume that it's under the control of Piper Fen?
Yeah,
Oh
it is.
yes,
Yeah,
it is.
you do know that information. Yeah.
So do we really know to want to go to the Maiden's Wish?
I mean, that's up to you. Like, either you can keep following Robert down that way, uh, and then literally split, like on that street that the third wildebeest was on, or you've got the Maiden's Wish.
Probably follow Robert then.
Okay, so you do follow Robert most of the way, and you can split it to just like a kind of small, like kind of really divey type bar opposite. Yeah, yeah. So you can kind of split like right there. Robert goes into the third wildebeest alone, and you kind of sit in this little hovelly type place opposite. And you can get yourself a beer, and it's super cheap. So what is the plan?
Well, first
Super
of all,
cheap beer.
I know that Robert knows this guy, but how trustworthy would Robert know that he is? I mean, there's
Make an insight check on him, seeing as you're in front of him.
not my best attribute, but 14.
14, pretty good, yeah. You feel like he can definitely keep a secret. He's got a few, and he's kept a few. But if the price was right, he could sell you out.
And what's his name? Would I, of course, remember?
Yeah, of course. 1 second. didn't even have the name of all the bars and stuff. That's why I was just like, just, just, come on. Ball is fucking terrible, and it's on the way out already. All right, Cambert was his name. Cambert.
Cambert.
Yeah, because he's a little gnome guy.
Cool. Okay. Cambert, my friend, I need a favor.
Of course, of course.
I may be expecting additional friends to meet up here, and I would need them to have access to both rooms if they require.
Okay, yeah, no problem. They're your rooms. Do what you want with them.
Sure. And some of the tasks that I had been doing at the at, at the masonry, it may require that they try looking for me individually. So if anyone comes asking me or any guards or any of the foremen, I would need you to try and keep my location secret for as long as you can. Of course, if it comes to that, I would pay you a reward for your silence, of course.
Well, yeah, I'd expect no less.
Thank you,
Keeping
friend.
a secret like that from the town's guards. That's big work. I'm only a small guy.
It's only a precaution. I'm sure the foreman won't go to the effort to call the guards, but they may show up. Not that I've done anything illegal, just perhaps not locked some storeroom doors, or, it may just be a bit of a problem for me.
Okay, I'll keep it under wraps. I haven't seen you.
Good man.
All right, so as you're in the small bar opposite, you see. Are you leaving now, Robert? I don't want to assume that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just.
I guess I'll walk out into the streets and start looking around for
Yeah.
where the
Are
others
you?
may have led to.
Yeah, you leave, and it doesn't take you long to spot them.
Sure.
Especially like, yeah, they're really easy to spot in this part of town. Yeah, they're sitting having a drink. What about Valerie and Vix? Are you having a drink too with that?
Well, it would be conspicuous not to, so I take a beer.
Mm-hmm. That's a beer. For like a copper piece, you can get like 2 decent sized pitchers. So you get a couple of pitchers if that's what you want. Sit at the table and you wait for Robert to come back, which he does.
I think some food might not be amiss here.
Yeah, you waited for me to start eating. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, it'd hardly be polite otherwise, would it?
I guess not.
there's a few people in the bar eating, and what they are eating, you have no idea what it is. It's just
Meat.
it's thick, like there's a meat in there somewhere, but there's a lot of like kind of green pasty stuff on top.
Oh no, they're not
Like
vegan,
like
are they?
dark. Like nah, you're sure there's meat in there somewhere. It's just hard to spot.
The pigeon special.
Perhaps.
You know how
But
to tell if
whatever's
someone's
on.
vegan, don't you?
Sorry?
You know how to tell if someone is vegan, don't you?
They'll tell you straight away.
Indeed, you've heard that joke before, you clever man.
I saw that coming. Yeah, the food, yeah, it's questionable, but if you want some, you can get some.
I've had a closer look at the food, and I'm like, I think I prefer my things when I can identify them.
Yeah, this establishment is pretty rough.
It's alright, it's not like I was hungry.
I think we'd be better off with our trail rations than eating the food in here, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd rather what it was.
Shall we try and find somewhere where the food's a bit more palatable?
Depends. Robert, are you staying there with Mercedes?
I'm sure Mercedes will be safe, but it's up to you. What do you think is best? We keep an eye on her like baby?
We should at least tell her where we're going if we're going to leave.
Okay, well, I can go back. You guys are welcome to come and say what needs to be said if you want. The tavern owner has been told of possible visitors, so should not attract attention.
Well, maybe it would be best if you're the only one to go and see them, Robert. Otherwise, they might, a parade of strange faces all at the same, individually, one after the other, might stand out a little.
Have you not seen what part of town you are in? There are strange people all around us.
It was more the pattern than the strangeness that I was thinking.
If you sure. Okay, I will go back.
Yeah, Robert's not wrong. There is plenty of strange people, like in the bar that you're in the street. Like the people in this area are not the most average of looking people.
Cutthroats.
Yeah, some that don't look particularly nice. Some that are just poor, hungry. Um, yeah, some that like it that way. That are just yeah. All types of people seem to be in this area. Anyone that can't afford the lavish lifestyle of the majority of the city, they kind of stick to this area. So, Robbie, you're heading back?
Indeed, I am.
Maybe
right.
now that we're all together, we can risk staying at the Maiden's Wish. Don't you think?
That's up to you guys. What does everyone else think?
Well, I have no objection to it, but how long should we stay away from the Lord's Manor? They do, after all, know that we left, and they may. I assume that we're avoiding letting them know that we're back.
How long is it going to be before they realize it?
My guess is that they will know in a couple of hours if they don't already. We can still get the excuse of take the excuse of taking a rest after traveling far and fast, or and spend the night at the Maiden's Wish, or we could spend the night at the manor after we've reported on our progress.
Well, I suppose that depends on how good his lordship's spies are.
Yeah, you've got no real idea of what his level like. You've only met him those few times. You know that he's heavily guarded. Spies wise, you've got no real idea whether he's got any.
And we don't know of any master of spies.
Not that you know of. No, the only information you've got is the information that Marden had that kind of told you about each member of the council, because that's all he really knows. He doesn't know who works under them. He's only really he doesn't socialize with them. He's purely business. He's pretty kind of almost hermity.
My best bet is that Piper Fen is the spy master. But that's extrapolation. I mean, he is in a prime position to be the eyes and the ears of the city.
So we know that there's somebody amongst the Lord's Council that is plotting against him, and we have no leads.
Yeah, you have the entire council as your leads.
Which is why we should try and get close to them, maybe in a working position.
Sounds
Propose
good.
our services long term to the Lord and the city. It would take us time to get close enough to get into a position where we might hear something. But we might have proven our usefulness with the proof of Margin's death.
How much time do we really have?
Honestly, I don't know. But we should really get as close as we can to the enemy. You know, closer
That sounds,
than our friends.
that sounds like plan, I'd say.
So yeah, you know Prudence. You've met her. Obviously, Marden. The only you've never met Piper, Cass, uh,
I think we met
Jerichus. You've met.
Jarakas.
Yeah, you've met him. Yeah, yeah. He was the kind of the first on the scene after you guys fought all the skeletons in the sea.
Pretty logical.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could also pick someone, each of us, and investigate on them, each of us.
That could work.
That would still require that we get as close as we can to the power, maybe assume positions of assistance or something, something that would not make us travel so far.
I think that would.
Yeah, so is there a plan forming here? Who's after what?
I mean, are we going to split up? Are we going to try and
Not necessarily
get close
split up.
enough?
Not necessarily split up, but the council is bound to have needs, right?
Needs.
Tasks to be carried out, errands to run. It would allow us
Oh,
to
thank
get
God you
things wrapped up.
clarified that.
What did you think I was talking?
Needs is a little bit of an ambiguous term.
Well, where there's a need, there is an offer waiting to fill it.
Yeah, well, depending on what their needs are, I ain't offering to let them feel.
Don't you want to fill the needs, Ak? You said you hear
It's not about filling.
some
It's not
playful.
about feeling. It's not about filling other needs. It's about their need being to fill me that I'm not up. That I'm not happy.
I think I'm lost.
Did Valerie say that out loud?
No, just said that in her head. But I think Valerie's just looking like quite confused, like, okay, sure.
Yeah, so really, those are your options. You can investigate each member separately. You can go speak to the Lord and tell him you found Marden dead and you've ripped his tattoo off. You can go and try and speak to the council together if that was an option.
I think first things first, we need to.
We need to report on the modern situation, honestly.
Mhm.
So that would require probably the full council. That way we can size them up and see who is the priority. And if you are uncomfortable splitting up and each of us investigating each member separately, we can then prioritize based on our feelings on the council.
That sounds good. And I think while like all the council are in the room as well, we can have a look to see if how they all react to that.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
So is that a today job or are you going to leave it till the morning?
We arrived late, right? It's the evening, right? Right now.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
Which means that the casinos are probably full, and
Yeah,
maybe
they're busy
Piper
and
won't be.
expensive.
Yeah, what I mean is that maybe Piper Fan wouldn't be able to get themselves ready on such short notice for a full council meeting, unless they can. Well, I honestly I am not sure on which is the best timing. Myself, I would take any suggestions, to be honest.
Well, we might as well wait till morning, make it look convincing, nip out the other gate, ride out a ways, come back hell bent, covered in dust from another direction, make a big fuss of it, alert the guards that we've got something that's got to be shared with the council.
I think we got. I think just the fact that we relinquished the horses. You see that she's still sore about that to their owners, to the stables, defeats that purpose. They will know we at
Ah,
least
shit,
parked
I must
here.
have fallen asleep.
But the horses are
I,
kind of
I ju-
they're back in the kind of in the stables, but they're owned by the Lord. He like paid for them, but they're yours to come and go to take as you want.
Sure, but that means a stable hand had to see to the beast, and maybe there's a ledger. I don't know how stables work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they took note that it had been returned. Definitely.
So they could
You
already
were,
know that we're here.
yeah, you were seen coming in too by the guards on the gate, even though they were slightly more preoccupied by the new hot babe that you brought with you. But
Your Genuino, baby.
yeah,
well, we might as well just send a message to the council telling them that we have evidence to present to them in the morning.
That sounds like
yeah, if you can do that if you want to.
Winner, chicken dinner on that one then.
Yeah. Who's writing the letter? If that's the plan.
Oh, I suppose I can draft the letter. I'm supposed to be at least reasonably cognizant with the rip.
Apparently so. But yeah, so you can take however long it takes, 15 minutes, draw up a nice letter, give them the details. What are you putting in the letter?
Okay, it's gonna be pretty bare bones. Just that we have evidence of the fate of Marsden that we feel would be best presented to the council as a whole in the morning, and we request an audience with the full council and at their convenience. Because bear in mind, we're just adventurers. They're the council. They may not necessarily feel the urge to turn up for a meeting that we demand for.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Right. Once I've finished it, I seal the letter and send it. I just so are there messengers running around in the Lord's livery?
I guess the closest thing you'd see is kind of like his private guards. Like you've seen them before, like around his estate and stuff like that, and they also patrol the city. You had one do all your shopping for you before you left. Um, one of those could deliver it, no problem.
Yeah. So sort of, I pop out of wherever we are and find a private garden. Uh, you guard, would you please take this to your sergeant and let him pass it on to who it needs to be passed on to, please.
Yeah, he's kind of like a young guy. He's clearly not been doing this job long, and he's just like, yeah, sure. He holds out like his hand, like for a tip.
Yeah, I'll tip him a sip.
Okay, and he takes it and he puts it in his pocket and he says, it'll be there as soon as possible. Thanks, Governor." And heads off towards the richer district.
So I basically bribed him to abandon his duties.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, he's young. He doesn't really know how it works, and he was kind of like, "I
Oh,
could get a tip for this." But yeah, as soon as you gave him that, he was off in that direction. So
Say
you can
goodbye.
assume the letter's probably been delivered.
Probably.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
not.
Or he just took the silver piece and went to the casino and just tried to bet something.
I shrug as I watch his retreating heels. I done what I...
You win some, you lose some. But yeah, do you guys know where you want to stay? Are you going to stay in the same place Robert's staying, or do you want to find
Hell no.
somewhere else? I mean, compared to like in the area that you're in, it's the best condition. But
Snobs.
I mean, by
That's like
anyone
saying,
else,
of these two shit sandwiches, this one is slightly
There
better.
is
yeah,
there
that's
an in
pretty much exactly what it
between?
is.
Is there an in between the maiden switch and the Walker thing?
Not really. The Third Wildebeest is probably the best of a pretty bad bunch of hotels, and then the Maiden's Wish, where it's owned by Jacta, and it's kind of like how the city came to be. That is the big draw. So like people go to Kymel to stay there. They don't really. There's not a lot of other kind of inns or taverns really even bothered opening up because what was the point?
I think I asked you last session, but what was it doing just before the attack? Had I just arrived in town? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you just arrived. Yeah, you haven't you'd literally not been there like 10 minutes. You're kind of going through the festival was kind of on, and you're just kind of taking it all in, and
Bam, and dead.
yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
I mean, if you're looking for a free place to stay, you know the Marden's house is completely empty, although did have a gelatinous cube in the basement.
I would probably. You know what? It's actually a good idea.
Well, yeah, I suppose, as long as we don't go in the basement.
That sounds good.
Didn't we get rid of the Genatlas cube? Not that I'm there, but
We did.
Yeah, you did get rid of it.
Only concern
It
I have is the place probably having been repossessed.
Well, it's worth a look at least.
Thirded or seconded or whatever. We might as well go and check it out.
yeah. So you guys head on over there. You know where it is, and it's not super far. It's kind of almost near the town center, in between where the area that you're in now, which is kind of hidden away, and the slightly more upscale area of the city. Yeah, you find the kind of modest home of Marden. Um, there doesn't appear to be.
Got it.
Yeah, do one of you want to make a perception check? Or somebody make a perception check with advantage. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look guarded. It looks pretty set. It looks pretty empty. Um, nobody seems to have even really touched it since the last time you guys were there. And the front of the door still has a huge like warhammer, s- like smash mark in the middle.
The locksmith.
Yeah,
Mac looks slightly embarrassed,
only slightly.
like fractionally.
Yeah, embarrassed with a small amount of pride.
No, the embarrassment is it took more than one blow to open the door.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. It did. Yeah, I forgot about that. You rolled like it was like a 2. Yeah.
Do you know what I learned today? Jack Nicholson used to be a fire marshal, and because of that, in the Shining, they had made a fake door for him to smash through. But because he's a fire marshal, it took him like two hits to destroy it. Because fire marshals like know how to put an axe to into doors basically. So they had to bring back the original door to film him getting another couple of shots in.
That's pretty fucking rad. That's badass.
Well, watching someone who knows how to wield an axe is slightly more nerving than, just a madman saying,
Yeah,
"Here's Johnny."
yeah. But yeah, you look at the door. The door is definitely not Jack Nicholson from The Shining level broken, but it's still you guys can just push it open um to go inside if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well head in and see, make ourselves at.
Gosh, this is what, the third, fourth session? We already have a base.
Yeah, man, I thought you guys were going to use it as soon as I was like, right, I'm going to give them an empty house. I was like, this is it. It's going to be their base of operations. And it was like, I forgot about the house. But yeah, you go on inside and it's pretty much exactly how you left it. The doors that you last came in are still wide open. It looks untouched.
Oh, please tell me I've taken bending with that fucking character.
Does the door behind us still close properly, or will it require some repair and reinforcement?
Yeah, it might need barricading. I mean, it closes, but a, a slightly more than a moderate breeze could blow it open.
Can I try and intimidate the door into staying shut? Sorry, man.
Do you know what? Fuck it. Go for it. Intimidate the fuck out of this door. I just want to see it happen. Nope. Nope.
It's not happening.
The door
Nope.
does
Natural
not budge.
one. Nope.
You sent a strongly worded letter to the door.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm going to roll a natural one, that's the time to do it.
Exactly. Get it out of the way. Job done. If anything, the door swung wider open, almost mocking you.
Get the bard in here. Persuade this door.
What?
Oh my god, are we doing every ever?
How are we supposed to persuade a door?
I mean, he tried to.
You're the bard.
But a door is a. You know what? Screw it. I'll have a go. See how this goes.
Sure, go and persuade the door.
This is crazy, but okay.
After Axe stands shouting at the door, trying to intimidate it into closing, at which point it mockingly almost opens a little bit more. Valerie steps up, takes the sweeter, nicer approach.
Come on,
Of,
door.
yeah.
Please say that. Please for us.
As you say it, the door closes and you hear the latch inside click, like it was out of place, and for some reason, it's now moved into the right spot.
That was amazing.
There you go.
Hey,
You persuaded an inanimate object.
I am going to
Sometimes it's just knowing who to call to get the job.
For sign of arcane locks and runes, because I cannot believe this is not magical or construct or something. This is going to turn into an owlbear while we sleep.
It's when you find out the door's actually a mimic.
The entire house is a mimic. Giant mimic.
There is a sand dune mimic.
That's pretty fucking rad. That's awesome. And I want one in my game now. To be aware of sand dunes.
Memo of self, stay away from desert areas.
Oh, it's weird because the next part of the story means you have to go to a desert. No, but yeah.
Well,
Fuck
it
it.
does
Yeah,
now. It didn't 15 minutes ago.
yeah, that's what I mean. I've just thrown the rest of the story out. Everything up to this point. Everything after this point is going to be desert related. It's just going to be manticores and sand dune fucking
Mummies and Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah, Brendan Fraser. Well, I'm noting that down. Brendan Fraser's popping up at some
You gotta
point.
have an NPC.
Yeah, in our home game we had Danny Trejo, and they kept him around for so long, and it was so hard trying to do a Danny Trejo impression week in week out.
Hey,
I don't-
pendejo.
Oh, it was fucking terrible. Yeah, I don't think I could keep up Brendan Fraser that long either. Brendan Fraser can't keep up Brendan Fraser that long. So.
Just go for an amicable, nice guy, and you'll be fine.
But yeah, you persuaded the door to close, and it did. I don't know why.
You know what? I'm still gonna roll this Arcana because I was half joking, but this is too intriguing. How did? Oh,
I have no clue. Just happened.
You don't sense anything arcane on the door or the surrounding areas. It was just a really fucking easily persuaded inanimate object. And none.
Ak is standing there with his arms crossed, looking smug as fuck right now.
Valerie was very confused about how that worked. She was doing it as a joke.
this is absolutely not logical or even possible without the door having absorbed some kind of magical energy. There must be a rune inside the house, and I'm going to like turn the house down on its head like another time.
Make an investigation check. Yeah, nah, you tear it apart. You don't find anything.
Tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah, no, you don't find anything. The door must have just been persuaded.
Sure, why not?
But yeah, you can post up there for the evening. There is food, like, but it's not. It's a good 5 days at this point. So there's some bread that's real stale and some fruit that's not looking great. Um, a couple of like cured meats that you could probably get away with eating if you wanted to.
I'll probably eat some Russian.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
I'm sorry, that sounded like you said you were going to eat some Russians.
Luckily, Robert isn't there.
Well, to be honest, this is my best attempt at British accents at 10 p.m. Almost 11.
I forget that you're an hour ahead. Yeah. But yeah, so you guys can post up for the night. Unless there's anything anyone wants to do. Robert, is there anything you want to do while you're
I'm just
at the
making
Fair
sure
Wildebeest?
that Mercedes is not disturbed and keeping a nice ear out, but trying to relax at the same time.
Keeping
Go,
vigilant.
Robert. He's the lover, love.
Yeah, you see a cutscene where the door of Mercedes' room's closed, and Robert is zipping up his belt buckle again. No, that does not happen.
What's this sock doing on the door handle?
Mr. Boomdust.
Yeah. What, are you in your room or are you hanging out? You just like
I'm in the room next door to Mercedes' room. I'm being very vigilant for any sounds that
okay.
may occur. So like my window is open, so I can hear any sounds out on the street. My door is sort of like partially ajar, but like I've put like my bag next to the door, so like if anyone pushes my door, it would make a loud noise, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. You keep vigilant, but you don't. You don't hear anything. Yeah, nothing really seems to alert you. I mean, it's pretty loud downstairs. Like the crowd in the bar is pretty.
They're a lively bunch.
Yeah, they are a lively bunch. Other than that, the night passes without any other occurrence until you fall asleep.
Robert's just like, oh god, I'm missing all the fun.
Yeah, you do get a bit of like FOMO, and then yeah, it's until you go to sleep.
Sure.
Rest of you guys, anything you want to do before you go to sleep?
Not especially.
Well, once people are asleep, since I only need 4 hours myself, I'll keep on working on my plans. I'll read some more of my prayer book and go to bed about 4 hours before sundown.
Okay. Uh, in regards to your plans, kind of outside of game, how many levels is it until you can actually start using them?
Two.
Two.
Well,
Okay.
I could use it now. I'll just be at a disadvantage because obviously sorcerers are not proficient in that type of weapon.
Yeah, yeah. You wouldn't get any like proficiency or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to take my fourth level early to get a feat or something.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll say that you get a good study, and the more you are studying, the more you are kind of getting to know how it works, and you feel a little bit more confident about it, and you think, maybe I'll give it a go soon. Um, at the minute, it's still quite foreign, just the idea of using it. So you keep it to yourself, but you study up on it.
May I ask scare you because of the injury my mentor sustained that almost sustained that I prevented and got punished for?
Pardon, sorry, I was totally miles away then.
So the part where I prevented an injury and got punished for it,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would make me a bit scared of this a bit as well.
Yeah,
This is foreign and this is scary. I'll have that power at my fingertips.
yeah, I feel like that's why you spend time studying it rather than using it. Like, you want to get a better grasp on just just how it works and all about it rather than just rushing into using it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a yeah, just a way until you're a high enough level to use it. Just an excuse to yeah, but it makes sense. It totally makes sense. So yeah, you do that and everyone else gets the rest of their night's sleep and you'll wake up in the morning. The three of you in Marden's house and Robert alone in your little room.
So lonely.
So lonely.
All I want is friend.
Well, you could always go and visit the lady next door.
That's probably what's kept Robert awake. Is that he like occasionally forgets that it's Marden, and he's like, "Oh yes, Mercedes next door. Oh no, wait, that's Marden. That's Marden."
Yeah, everybody's really taken to the Mercedes thing, including Marden, who's like actually enjoying it now, as opposed to the being forced to. Has actually discovered some type of liberation in it. But anyway, yeah, the other three of you guys wake up and well, Vix, you're already up, so yeah. What are you doing by the time the other two wake up?
I said I would get to bed just in time to get my 4 hours of sleep.
Okay, I didn't know if you were
Ba-
sleeping first or sleeping second. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, basically waiting and making sure I have the most of the day with my companions.
Okay, so the three of you wake up in the cold of Marden's house. Nobody bothered to light a fire. I guess it would attract too much attention, so it's fairly cold in there, and
We just spent a couple of days camping. It's okay.
yeah, you're kind of used to it by now. Just nice to have a bit of a roof over your heads.
At least we don't have to worry about the rain.
Yeah,
Even under a tent, it gets a bit wet.
yeah. So, what is the plan? Are you getting are all of you going?
I'd rather we go all together, so maybe we could fetch Robert at the inn.
That's probably the best idea.
Right, if we're taking Robert from the inn, is there anybody that we should? Sorry, should we leave a guard at the with Mercedes?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Why would you leave? Would you entrust a guard to your uh, conquest or your lady friend, whatever we want to pose herself at as?
Well, Robert spent the night with her, so
Yeah, but uh, wouldn't it be abuse of power to abuse of the small power and privilege we have of being entrusted with the Lord's affairs to have a guard
I
check
didn't
on
know.
the
No,
safety of
wrong meaning a
someone?
guard. I meant for one of us to
Oh,
stay with.
does any one of us wants to stay away from the action? Does do we want to risk to have like one less insight check on the council?
I think we're going to need all of us for this. That's the only thing.
Hmm. Have we rejoined Robert?
Yeah, if you guys started walking, you would be you could have this conversation on the walk. It doesn't take you long, kind of 5 minutes. Walk back to the third wildebeest.
Okay, I'm going to put to Robert. You know, does he think that Mercedes is going to be safe whilst we're attempting to mislead the council?
Yes, I think so. There's no reason to think that any harm would come to her here. No one is looking for her or us. We are quite open to elements, so people will know where we are. If we get the job done quickly, there's no reason. During the day is usually the safest time. These parts, most people are sleeping or working.
Oh well, if you think so, we'll do it that way.
Most
So you
ladies
guys,
will be okay in the room.
yeah. So that if that's your choice, then you can just start making your way there now, or you wanna. Is there anything else you wanna do before you go?
I don't think there was much left to do. I'm guessing by this point the guys would have relayed the information they discussed without me there.
Sorry, pardon.
I'm guessing at this stage the guys would have relayed the information to their plan.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah, yeah. For the sake of yeah, not having to go through it all again. Yeah. So yeah, you guys. Is there anything you want to do before you go, or you're just gonna go straight on over there?
Let's just assume that we're grabbing quick breakfast on the way.
Yeah, Robert would just sneak into the room a little bit and just like kind of say to Marlon like, "Hey Mercedes," and make it really obvious, like if anyone's listening. Mercedes, make sure you stay. Keep still and safe. I will be back for much fun later. And kind of make that obvious to anyone like around.
Yeah, there's a couple of like guys already in the bar, like first thing in the morning. Really like scraggly looking guys that like kind of look at you and it give you like a thumbs up, like hey.
That 9 a.m. pint, am I right?
Exactly. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere.
Somewhere. I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, so you take your walk over to the Lord's estate. It's kind of like 9 a.m. ish. So yeah, you walk on over there, and at the gate you are greeted by two of the kind of younger guards. Uh, the gates are closed, and you haven't seen them before, so they question you as you enter. It's, excuse me, what's your business?
We have been running an errand for Lord Jatker. Jatker? I don't remember how you say it.
Yeah,
Jatker,
Jack.
right?
Yeah, Jack.
Jacter. And we're here to report. We have already sent a letter ahead yesterday evening to announce our presence and the purpose of our visit. Did you sign with a name? The last part is like whispered at Ack because he's the one who sent the letter.
Well, there's a couple of problems with the letter. One, we never said it was written before we knew where we were staying, and two, we've not actually received any notification that the council's going to be here for the meeting.
Yeah, yeah. You couldn't put where you were staying because you didn't have anywhere to stay, so there was no kind of correspondence. It was just you handed a letter to a guy, said, "Hand this to the Lord. See you later." So you're just going off of
So you
the
didn't
assumption.
write a letter saying we would report to the we would like to report at the Lord's house, which is like the one place that is central and sort of like uh obvious. I thought, sorry,
Yeah, yeah. That
should
I
have
think that was
listened
in the
better.
letter. It was more just that there was no way for them to communicate back to you that they
Oh,
got it. So yeah, you're all just going off assumption that the letter arrived, but they the two guards kind of look at you all and just say, yeah, hold here for a second, please.
no problem.
Uh, and one of them goes on inside. The other one just tries not to look at you and just kind of keeps it to his post and just looks like dead straight ahead, like out into the street. Just pretty much just ignores that any of you are even there.
Like
God.
well trained.
He's not the guard that I gave the letter to yesterday.
No, he's not, but he's very similarly like aged and just pretty green. Like,
Okay, I go. I go over to him. No, do you have a brother?
yes.
Yay, tall, and I just rattle off a description of the guard that I met last.
Perhaps, yes.
Yeah. Well, I gave him a letter to deliver. He seemed to run off at a great rate of knots. I didn't actually pay him to abandon his patrol.
What he does with his time is his business. I'm just trying to do a good job for my lord and my city.
Well, if he is your brother, you might want to have a quiet word in your shell, like about what can happen when words like abandonment of duty are bandied around. Just from me to you.
I'll be sure to let him know. He's still just he didn't even look you in the eye. He might have like looked to the side at you a couple of times.
Was
But he's
totally
taken
speaking
this
out the
job.
corner of his mouth.
Yeah, he's taken this job super seriously. Like he wants a promotion. Like he just wants to prove himself. But as you're
And got a
talking,
smudge of brown on his nose.
oh yeah, 100%. But as you talk to him a little bit and you wait like 5 minutes, and Jaricus, the older kind of high elf guy, comes down. You see him walk up to the gate, and he looks to the young guy that you were just talking to, and he's like, "Let him in, boy. Let him in." And he turns to you all, and he says, "Come on in. Come on in. We're pleased to receive your letter last night. Uh, thank you for letting us know. Unfortunately, we couldn't respond as there was no uh, correspondence address. So we just assumed that you would be here. We've called for all the council members to be gathered, and they'll be should be with us momentarily. If you'd like to come inside, take a seat. Um,
Certainly, thank you.
when you go inside this time, it's not as busy as it has been previously. There isn't loads of maids and servants and stuff around. It is like much more stripped back. And that table that you all sat and had like a cooked breakfast at before is now just empty, and there's only enough seats for you guys and the council members. He says, please take any seat, um, sparing the seat at the end of the table, please.
Not many to choose from. Is there something we should know?
Uh, The council just likes their meetings to be very professional and very stripped back. So we all the empty seats. It just causes a lot of fuss. People they don't know where to sit. It's chaos. So we just get rid of all the spare ones.
Okay.
And yeah, so you'll pick a seat where you want to sit, and Jaricus takes a seat as well. He looks around like not nervously, but uh, ex- he's just kind of you get the idea that council meetings aren't really his thing, but it is his job and it is his duty, so he does it.
I will very confidently sit to the left of Jarakas
Okay,
and sit by him at his left.
okay.
I'll take a seat opposite from him, the better to keep a view over the all of the assembled.
I'll
Yeah.
try and do the same. Get a seat where I can like see everyone.
Yeah. I mean, the tables it's pretty long, and there's how many seats we got? Four. So eight seats. Eight, yeah, the four of you and the four of them, and then there's one seat at the end for if the Lord decides he wants to attend or not.
Do you mind whipping up a new roll 20 empty roll 20 sheet and moving us there and do a quick sketch of it? Or I can do it if you want it.
Yeah, no problem. Um,
In diplomacy, like in war, maps are important.
exactly, yes. Right. So you've got. So we'll say. Um, 1 second. So we say you got the table in the middle, right? And then you've got one chair at the end, and then you've got your four. And then it's basically mirrored on the other side. That is obviously not to scale. The chairs are out of whack, but it's just an idea. That's basically what you've got right now. So if we say that you've got kind of uh, like Jaricus here, yeah, I'll write a little J on there. So you got Jaricus is on this one, and you've got Vix on this one. You've got Ack on this one. Who else would like to sit where?
Robert, where do you want to sit?
I will sit. I will sit here.
Okay, so we've got Robert here. Valerie, where do you want to sit?
I'll
I'll make
sit.
sure I write Vix because I forgot that two of you begin with a V.
You could. Oh, you could have put like a V in a different color.
Yeah, but I didn't really
I
think of
probably,
that until you just said it.
I probably said like the bottom one here across from Robert.
Okay, so we've got Valerie on there. You you wait, and it's pretty silent in the house until Prudence eventually arrives. She enters through there's a door kind of on this side over here. That's the door there. See that? Oh, that's open. So she comes in here. She looks around. She says, "Ah, you've all chosen your seats. I see. It's good to see you all here." Um, she's gonna come and take a seat, probably here. There's a little P there. Um, she looks around at the rest of you and says, I hope you've brought good news about Marden."
Well, take it as you wish. However, uh, we have indeed found Martin. It appears he crossed the path of bandits. We found him in a cage, dead. We brought what we thought would constitute proof without unburdening us with the body. If you would, maybe Robert, I suppose you're the one who has it.
Sure. And I
It's not
rummage
very
through the
hard to get
bag and
disgusted.
I kind of just flop this bit of skin onto the table.
Oh, she looks at it with a little bit of like disgust, and when you throw it on the table, Jaricus is like, "Jesus Christ, man, what
Sorry,
is that?"
this is all that's left. This is Madden. Say hello, Madden, and I kind of nudge it across the table.
Like,
We also found a couple of his things, like half a spell book ruined.
do you still have it?
No, it was unreadable. We disposed of it.
It made good firewood.
Well,
She
it
like
was half burned, of course.
she like winces. You see, like she winces at the idea of like burning a spell book. At that point, this huge like Goliath woman with dark red hair, like just filthy mudded hands, boots that go right up to the knee that are like caked in mud at the bottom. She kind of walks in, doesn't announce herself, and come and like plonks herself right down next to Ack, right here. Prudence says, this is our another one of our council members, Cass. Cass, this is the group that went off to find Marden." And Cass just kind of like looks around at all of you, looks to Ack next to her, and just goes like, just nods and grunts. It's like, and then also Piper Fen. There's a kind of short Kenku enters. He's wearing like really fine robes, a a huge gold chain around his neck, rings on all of his like bird fingers that are like purposely like made for his hands, and he enters in the room as well.
Flying
Sits.
bird.
Yeah. Um yeah, his name begins with a P as well, so I'm gonna draw a bird.
You could put an F or a PF for Pipe of N.
Yeah, but bird's better though, isn't it?
You've met Big Bird, now you met Bling Bird.
Yeah, boy. Yep, that's Piper. And Piper's like, hurry up, hurry up.
Okay, I want to
The Prudence kind of tells the latecomers that Marden's been found dead, and Jaricus kind of he draws a sword and like flicks the bit of skin over at him, and they look around. Well, it's Piper just says, I guess it's good news all round. I guess it's unfortunate to see a council member go, but you gotta go. You gotta go. If you're gonna try and kill a lord, then so be it.
insight check.
Yeah, you can touch him.
Cool.
Oh yeah, he definitely for somebody. I don't know if it's malicious or if he just if you can't tell if it's malicious or if he just never cared for Marden that much. But you get the idea, like, this guy's not fussed about the fact that Marden is dead. He's just like, well, it happens. Yeah, you don't know if you can detect like malice in it, but you definitely like this guy doesn't care. Same thing with Cass, but then Cass hasn't shown much emotion about anything this whole time she's been sitting at the table. And as they're kind of looking over the bit of skin, where they're all like, "Ah, yeah, I've seen him with this tattoo before." Um, Jacta enters the room as well. Out of bed for the first time really that you've seen him, other than that first time that you saw him. Um, and he still looks pretty weak, and he still doesn't look well. But he takes his seat at the end of the table, and the rest of the council members look surprised to see him there, and they all stand as well when he enters. And
I stand as well.
I stand.
I kind of
Yeah,
do a half
ditto.
stand, like a lift my bum off the seat kind of sort of thing.
yeah, he says, "Please, please, sit down, everybody, sit down." Prudence says, "My lord, we did not expect to see you. It's very rare that you will attend the meetings." He says, "Well, I haven't been able to get out of the house much, and God, that room is starting to suffocate me. So I decided to join you. What are we discussing?"
We found Morgan dead. He met bandits on his way to wherever he wanted to go. We took proof of his demise and um, ascertained that he was dead. We found only one half burnt spellbook. We don't know in what circumstances, if the bandits were perhaps magic users. And hitting this dead end, we came here to report.
Quite literally the dead end. But at least now you can see that the traitor is dead. And I kind of look him like really seriously in the eye because of the discussion me and him would have had before.
Oh yeah, that's totally the reason that he actually came to this meeting, was the fact that you guys were back, not that he was bored. Yeah, he remembers that conversation well.
Mhm.
It's that is sad news. I always assumed he was a good friend, but I guess we'll never truly know.
Well, there are a lot of cowards in this world. Some you would hope if they were going to stab you, they'd just come out and try to stab you. Not hide behind undead beings to do their bidding. Although that can be entertaining when the time calls.
Yes. Listen, I thank you for bringing this to the council's attention. I thank you for going out of your way to go and find them, even if you contain no real proof that he'd done any wrongdoing. But this was a good thing you done for me and you did for the city, and I would like to extend my gratitude to you and pay you from my own pocket. The rest of the council members, you're free to leave. Um, yeah, just remember, uh, we don't still have any proof that Marden did anything. So stay vigilant, friends, and you are free to leave. At which point, like Cass, like just the chair slides back, like she knocks it back with the back of her knees, and then just pretty much leaves without still saying a word. And Piper gets up out of his chair as well and says, "This was a waste of time. I thought this was a council meeting, but fair enough, fair enough." And then Prudence looks around and Jacta says, Prudence, you may leave too. I have now I'm finally out of the bed. You can get the damn sheets changed or something. And she looks at him. She says, yes, of course, my lord.
Um,
You
I
leave.
I have a question for you, DM. How many voices did we hear the Kenku mimic so far?
The Kenku is like he's been around a lot of voices and he's basically he's pretty much heard everything you can hear working in a super busy casino. So he has
Sure.
quite like a fluent voice. Like it's not one voice, but he can keep it pretty consistent that you can almost not tell
All right.
that he's just mimicking things he's heard before. Yeah, he's heard a lot of voices and he's managed to piece together the right ones. uh Jaricus, you can stay real fast. Um
Oh,
and he
and would I know about the Kenku's curse about them not being able to create?
About the Kinku's what, sorry?
The Kenkus, they are cursed by their creator. They can't create anymore. That's why they have to mimic. So they can't create any plans. They can learn a plan from secondhand and then keep it going. But they're managers. They're not strategists.
Yeah, they serve somebody. But you can make a uh history check. Dane. No, you probably don't know that.
All right, thanks.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, you probably went a little higher you would have. Uh but yeah. Yeah, you probably wouldn't. But yeah. So Jacta he has Jaricus stay with him. He turns to Robert and he says, what really happened?
What we said, you never know who is listening.
Look, me and you both know the council can't be trusted. I put all of my trust into Jaricus, and Jaricus has been kind enough to share a few of the council secrets with me. Jaricus, if you'd. Jaricus looks to you and he says, the council have been calling secret meetings in a room on the top floor of the Maiden's Wish. Uh, Unfortunately, I was invited to the first few, but they were talking of the state of the city and how things need to change. And when I voiced my opinion, I was shunned. Uh, as far as I'm aware, these secret meetings are still being held by Piper, Cass, and Prudence, uh, almost nightly at the Maiden's Wish.
It seems like they may be planning some sort of coup.
What do I trust Jaricus really? Does he
You can make an
look
insight
like
check.
I hate tens?
Yeah, you're not sure.
So tell me,
Can I
what
try?
view was it that you had that made you shunned from the rest of the group?
Well, I said that Jack has ruled this city for a number of years, and the people like it this way. I mean, it's not fair on the people, but it's what people know and it's what people expect. Just because there is poverty in this city and there is an unfair division of wealth, people don't want change. And the rest of the council, they were talking crazy talk about it should be this way or it should be that way. I'm more loyal to my lord than they are.
That would
Enacting new
probably be
policies
the
to
word
that
that
effect.
then would spur Robert to see if he was telling the truth or not.
Go for it. Anyone that wants to insight check him.
Oh, shit. Really not my strong point. Holy hell.
Our
Oh.
big insight machine rolls
Oh
back.
wow!
Yay!
Shit.
Well, is the stoic guy, the stoic soldier guy? That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's a fucking brick wall. You cannot get a bead on him.
Just like his gods, like the young
While
gods.
I'm here and while I'm standing right next to him, if I was to use, I want to use one of my divine senses to see if I can sense any kind of like undead or necromantic kind of thing from him. If he's been around like undead, i.e., like the person that was responsible for the stabbing, bringing back the skeletons, I would hope that they may still have some sort of like essence around them or something. So I'm just seeing if that might be picked up in my divine sense or not.
Okay, yeah. If you want to use your divine sense on that,
Mm-hmm.
you're sitting at the table. You do get a blip of undead on him.
Tell me. And I kind of grab my arm around his back, like his lower back, and kind of pull him away from the Lord a little bit. What do you like to do in your spare time? Are you a gambling man? Do you like to gamble?
Well, I mean, it's a casino town. Everybody gambles.
And tell me, what do you know of things that go bump in the night?
I don't know what you're implying.
Well, the Lord was attacked by undead, no?
And a shame it was.
It was. What do you know of this magic?
I am a simple soldier.
Simple. So tell me, why can I sense undead? And I kind of have my hand on my axe at this point.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's not even going to reply and he's just going to turn and pull that sword that he was using to flick that bit of skin around with.
Gentlemen,
I think we're going to pick that up next week. I said that
why?
I said that I'll be done
I
by
think that's a good plan.
Oh
You
my
did say
god,
10, 10.
Fuck.
I
I
hate
Yeah.
this.
I have zone of truth, but he knows if I use it, so that's the only problem.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can like we have to block him and grapple him or something. So we'd have to put him out of commission anyway if he fights. So if he fights,
Yeah.
because like for
And
now,
like
we just have two men who drew their weapons, and I'm
I
like,
yeah,
didn't draw
gentlemen,
my weapon. I just had my hand on my axe. I didn't draw it. He
and the
drew.
rest of you didn't know he used his divine sense. So that conversation, you guys must have just been like, "What's going on?" And then he just went, "Why can I sense undead on you?" And then just draw weapons.
oh, by the way, what's your take on Shadow Sorcerer? Would I have blipped undead as well? Because some DMs do, some DMs don't. Depends.
I hadn't really thought about it, so we'll just say no for the sake of the fact that it totally just slipped my mind to even consider it. Yeah, but yeah, we'll
Oh,
call it a day there.
shit.
I'm just annoyed that like they know I use Zone of Truth, so it wouldn't be useful in this situation if we're trying to get slyly get him.
You could still do that. We could still ask questions while we're in combat if it comes to that.
Yeah.
we can ask questions in combat. We can like grapple him or
Indeed.
incapacitate him and have him like immobilized to.
Yeah, I've got something
So we-
up my sleeve that may work if it's successful. That might help lower the chances of the battle ensuing so quickly, and perhaps he might let out some words. So we'll see. Interesting.
Yeah.